Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to what sport is tougher, American football or rugby. Now I've been debating this internally and with friends for years and years. Like from the start of this channel, one of the first videos I reacted to was, the biggest hits in American history, just to get a gauge of how physical the sport is. And it is incredibly physical. The hits are vicious. But you guys, American football players wear protection. You guys wear their massive helmets. You've got the shoulder pads, you've got, the breastplates. And I know that you guys will be saying, because they wear, all this protection, they go in way harder, which is true, but there's a limit as to how fast a human can run to generate force to jump into a tackle, And, American football compared to rugby, it's very stop-start. Like after each play, there's like a couple minutes break, stuff like that. Whereas rugby is relentless. There are no breaks, aside from if, somebody is really badly hurt, really hurt. But I mean, these guys are sprinting. They're running around for 40 minutes straight. And it's full contact. You guys just go on YouTube, type in biggest rugby hits, and you'll see the hits are probably almost just as bad as in American football. So this video, I'm hoping, is going to answer the question for us once and for all. Let's do it.
12 of 19 in this set. Oh my goodness! Gets it on there to
Welcome. In this video, we will be discussing and comparing the toughness of two of the most physically demanding sports outside of combat sport.
Rugby is a tough sport.
It is.
Rugby league and American football. Specifically, we will be comparing the NRL competition in Australia to the NFL in the US.
What do you reckon?
NRL is a good barometer because, man, those guys, oh my God, savages.
Tougher game is.
Both sports require a high level of skill, athleticism, and endurance. But which one is tougher? Let's find out. Rugby league and American football are both very physical full-contact sports that are played with a ball and involve two teams trying to score points. However, there are some key differences between the two sports. First, let's take a look at the NRL. This sport, formerly known as rugby league, originated from England and is played by two teams of 13 players. The game is played on a field that is slightly larger than a soccer field and is divided into two 40-minute halves. What makes the NRL so tough is the physicality and pace of the game. Players are constantly...
That dude was out cold before he hit the ground.
NRL so tough is the physicality and pace of the game. Players are constantly hitting each other at high speeds and must be able to take and deliver hard hits.
Stopped right in this tracks.
We are here with NFL superstar and Detroit Lions running back Reggie Bush. Are you surprised about those hit-ups and the lack of protective gear?
I know enough about rugby league to know how physical it is, so I'm not surprised, but to see it in person is different than watching on TV. It hurts to watch. It hurts me to watch.
You got that right, Reggie.
The game also requires a high level of endurance, as players must be able to maintain their stamina under fatigue for the full 80-minute match, which seems like an eternity compared to the NFL.
Jesus.
Able to maintain their stamina under fatigue for the full 80-minute match, which seems like an eternity compared to the NFL. Now, let's take a look at the NFL.
All right.
This sport, also known as American football, is a full-contact sport played by two teams of 11 players. The game is played on a field that is 100 yards long and is divided into four 15-minute quarters. What makes the NFL so tough is the explosiveness, speed, and agility required to play the game. Players must be able to outmaneuver their opponents and make quick, precise movements.
You got to be explosive. You got to be very agile. You got to have a really good vision, like he has. So, all those same things that Jared has, man. I think he'll be able to play in the NFL.
NFL players are some of the largest and strongest athletes in the world, and the sport is known for its high-impact tackles and physical play. The game also requires a high level of endurance, not as much as what we'd observe in the NRL, but players must be able to maintain their stamina for the full 60-minute match. So, which sport is tougher?
I don't know, call me impartial because I played a bit of rugby when I was at uni. That's what gave me this fucked up finger, like it can't straighten. I just feel like just in overall toughness, I just got to go with rugby, man. It's the relentlessness. You know, it's full contact as well, and there's just no padding. I'm telling you, getting hit a full speed, a guy running at you that weighs 16 stone. What's that about? 16 stones, about what, 230, something like that, at full speed. And obviously at the uni level, they tackle above the waist. It's not like the pro leagues now where they're trying to make it safer. With no protection, a guy hitting you that weighs that much, it's horrible. It really is. It's awful. It's awful. I fractured my collarbone playing it. It's just a brutal sport. I have to pick rugby.
Many make the argument the NRL is tougher because the players don't use helmets, pads, and layers of protective gear.
I do. I look at American football, I'm like, take off the fucking helmets. What's up with the shoulder pads?
But on the flip side, this can mean the NFL is the tougher sport because the players don't hold back and go at it 1,000%, with zero care of self-preservation increasing the chances of whiplash and head injuries.
If you talked about contact, there could be an argument that NFL is tougher because they have those pads on, so they think, well, they can. They don't get as hurt when they fucking driving with their heads in that.
Take bare knuckle boxing, for instance. Fighters pull their punches to a degree to avoid breaking any bones in their hands, while in regular boxing, the padding in the gloves protects the fighter's hands, resulting in harder blows and the higher likeliness of concussions to occur. Does this mean the NFL is tougher because of the higher chances of serious bodily harm? Or is the NRL the tougher sport because of the lack of protective gear?
So I was training at MMA and having a couple of fights while I was playing rugby league.
Well, I would imagine that just the sheer tenacity and cardio that you would get from rugby. Rugby is a tough fucking sport. Yeah. I mean, that's what I think Americans should play.
Rugby, in my opinion, sacrilege. People will say sacrilege. It's just inherently more badass than football. Yeah. Okay?
Oh, there's no question.
This pad thing is ridiculous.
The argument is NFL actually suffer more from CTE because you've got blokes flying out of nowhere and their brain is going crazy everywhere. Whereas NRL at least has the protection of, I don't want to cut myself, I don't want to be head-on-head clash.
Them flying at each other head first, that doesn't make them tough, that makes them...
That is a good point. You might see more head-on-head collisions in football, in American football, than in rugby, especially because refs are really clamping down now on above-the-waist tackles. There's still plenty of them, but they're trying to make an effort now because a lot of rugby players are now... I think there's a class action lawsuit for early onset dementia by rugby players. Yeah, I guess the head-on-head collisions, you probably have to edge towards American football.
Whoever you agree with, both the NRL and the NFL are incredibly physically demanding and require a high level of skill, athleticism, and endurance. Both codes should be given the respect they deserve regardless of which sporting competition you're a fan of.
Absolutely.
Let me know which of the two sports you think is the toughest in the comments.
It's a really difficult one, and I don't think we're ever going to get an answer to this unless maybe you can get a player to play both sports at the highest level. You know, the only one that I can think of that's done something like that is Christian Wade, the winger, but you know, he played as a winger in rugby, which is not a position where, you know, you get that, you're not getting hit that much. I would want someone who plays as a number 8 or a flanker, you know, or a second row, you know, a forward or a prop in rugby, and then they go and play, I don't know, like linebacker or something like that, or running back. You know, I want a player that goes and plays in the most physical positions at the top level of both sports and then get their opinion. I think that's the only way. I'm going to do some research and you guys help me out too. Has there been players that have done this? I'm not really sure there has been. Yeah, I don't know, man. In terms of toughness, because honestly, running for 40 minutes straight and getting hit, because your body is so fatigued, which leads to, you know, you're more susceptible to damage. Whereas, you know, in the NFL, you're taking breaks quite often. You've got time to recover. It's a difficult one. I'm really, really not sure. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.